Schwartz Sez. Brought to you by your Southeast Michigan Ford dealers. Think Ford first. And the Henry Ford Medical Group, team physicians for the Detroit Lions.
Well, some weird stuff happened last night down in New Orleans. Let's go right to Jim Schwartz and talk about it. I don't know, do you feel anger? Do you feel frustration at the play of specifically three of your guys, Pettigrew, Young, and Stephon Logan, and what they did last night?
Yeah, there's no room for anything that happens after the whistle. Anything that happens after the whistle is a selfish penalty. Makes you feel good, whether it's a retaliation or whatever it is, but puts the team in a bad position. And we saw it happen in the Green Bay game. Put 4 points on the board for our opponent. We saw it happen in this game. Up until this point this season, we've been pretty good that way. I mean, our penalties have been drastically decreased before the snap. We've had penalties during the play, but, they're part of the play. You get a face mask, you get a holding penalty, defensive pass interference. I mean, they're part of the play. But we certainly can't afford, these kind of penalties, particularly the way they've happened the last 2 weeks, particularly the situation that we're in, and having 4 games to play.
Jim, I know you spend an awful lot of time talking about stuff like this with your players, especially after what happened with Ndamukong. What is it? What is it with these guys that they snap and lose their composure the way they do?
Well, that we've had it 5 times this year. Once in the opener, and then obviously Thanksgiving game, and then 3 in this game. It hasn't been one person. It's been a repeat offender. But we've had 5 as a team, and particularly the last 2 weeks we've had 4, and that's way too many. And when you're in situations that are end-of-season situations where every play is critical, there's no room for any kind of selfishness, and that's and that's what we need to be able to do better. New Orleans is a team that's been in these situations. They're a team that's won championships. They're a team that's where we aspire to go to, and they obviously handled that situation a lot better than we have.
I think I know how you're going to answer this before I ask it, but early in the year, if memory serves me right, Cherilus was involved in something and you suspended him, didn't play him 1 game. Is that the same kind of action you might take with any of these 3 guys?
Well, we didn't suspend Gosder, and he still was active and played in the game, but he saw his playtime cut in that game, and we had a very similar in the next game. Well, we had a very similar situation with Titus after Titus had the penalty that hurt the team. His role, he had no role in the second half after that. So there's accountability. We've been that way since the very beginning. But we can't afford after the fact accountability. It's got to be before the fact. We can't have situations. There's always situations that happen in the game. There's things that a guy pushes and, somebody grabs somebody or something like that. We have to walk away from it. Every single snap is important for where we want to go as a football team.
Dominic Raiola had a colorful rant in the locker room afterwards. I know you're addressing this, but you think the leaders on your team are also addressing it with those guys?
Well, we have a lot of experience with our team captains. Kyle Vanden Bosch has been around for a long time, seen a lot of things. He's a very strong personality, as is Dominic Raiola. As is Jason Hanson. Stafford's still young, but our captains play an important part of this team. And, Dominic's obviously, a guy that is willing to say what he wants to say.
The playoff situation, obviously, from your standpoint, I know you don't like to think too far ahead, but everybody you're competing with lost yesterday, and you knew that going into last night's game. I mean, the Giants lost, the Cowboys lost, the Bears lost, Atlanta lost. You kind of missed a great opportunity to separate yourself a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, I mean, every game is crucial, just like every play is crucial. And us losing that game had nothing to do with what happened in the other games. I mean, every game is what you put into it and what happens in that game. And, what we did in that game is we put ourselves in poor positions to have to overcome on the road against a very, very good football team. And, it wasn't necessarily a mismatch or anything like that, and had nothing to do with what happened early in the game. But, as we go on, we don't need to worry about what happens with other teams. What we need to do is we need to worry about what happens with our team, and we need to play our very best on Sundays.
All right, as always, thanks for doing this. We'll see you on Sunday, Jim.
Okay, Don.
Back to you guys.